My name is Malena and I graduated from the University of Life. Today we're going to talk about a lesson that is very important called do not live with your hurt. Do not live with your hurt. Many of us, we stay with that. Oh, someone did something happened to you when you were little, something happened at work, something happened at home, something happened with a relationship, and then suddenly you're living with the hurt. And you can't. You have to be able to take care of yourself and be able to speak up, find solutions, and resolve whatever that hurt that's in your heart, okay? One of the most difficult feelings that any human, the whole entire earth, the worst feeling that any human can have is hopelessness. When we lose hope. Hopelessness is, there's nothing I can do, absolutely nothing. In many situations in life, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do when you lose somebody, nothing you can do when you lost a job, nothing you can do. In many occasions, there's nothing we can do. That includes the victims of the fires that recently took place. There's nothing they can do. It happened. But it is very important that you do not live with that hurt. And the reason why I did this channel is because there's all kinds of channels or books that tells you love yourself, be happy, blah, 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 blah. But nobody tells you exactly how. How do you get rid of that hurt? How do you work with that? You know? And one of the things one resource that you need to know 100% is that holding you cry is not an option. A lot of times in our lives, we have cried a little bit, but then we try to be strong for our children, for our friends, for our parents, for whoever it is. We start to be strong. We want to be strong. There it is. Our parents got older and now we have to be strong for them. In many occasions, we want to be strong. We are broken inside when we are having that hurt inside, right? Holding you cry is never, and it will never be an option. Because all you're going to do is you're going to build something in there that's going to turn into maybe a stomach pain. Any kind of disease can come through all you holding all these emotions inside. Your body, remember, it has all these tissues, right? But it also has tissues that are alive. As long as you're breathing, there is something in someone inside yourself that is feeling all these emotions. So holding your cry is never, and it will never be an option. Why? Because once you have a really good cry, I'm not saying, go now to your room and cry. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you're feeling this thing in your heart, let it cry. Just cry. If you want to be strong for someone, just don't be strong. Just cry in front of them. It doesn't matter. They might even feel happier that you're crying with them, because they maybe are trying to be strong for you and you're trying to be strong for them, and both of you are hurting. So yes, it doesn't matter if anybody sees you cry. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing wrong. For men, like little boys in Mexico, they tell them, hey, you're a little machito, don't cry. Men don't cry. Men don't cry. Men don't cry. And there's this little boys with all these things in their hearts when they had to cry, when they wanted to cry but they couldn't, or they hide it somewhere to cry alone. Or there's people who have told me that they fall asleep while they're crying. No, you cry just like the way you laugh, the way you enjoy whatever it is. Embrace the cry. I know it sounds crazy, but it is important that you don't hold your cry. You can give it a good cry. What happens to that? It clears your head. It clears your head from that tension. It even might clear your high blood pressure, whatever tension you have, the anxiety attacks. It might even clear that. But what also does, it cleans your soul. What is the soul? I don't know. There's something in ourselves that many people by now know, that there is a soul out there inside ourselves. You know, that everybody has a soul, and sometimes we have to nourish the soul. We nourish our body, our minds, our soul, and it heals your soul. Why? Because that pain came out. Because you told that neighbor that, you know what, you're doing this and it bothers me, and I really need you to, to do this for me, or we can work it out, or you can talk to a boss and say, you know what, I've been doing my best on so and so. Bring it up. The worst that anybody can do is just not bring up anything that's bothering you. Not like a Karen, okay? Don't go Karen on people. You just say, you know what, my order is not prepared correctly, and I really like this food, and that's why I came to this restaurant. But I don't know, it's something off with the taste. But be polite, but get it out. Don't eat it like, it tastes horrible, I never come to this place again. No, say it in a polite way. Bring it out. Your boyfriend or your girlfriend. You put boundaries, you know. Please don't talk down on me when we're friends or anywhere, because I'm not gonna allow you to talk down on me or say that I am dumb or start making fun of me for whatever, or pushing me, whatever you don't like about the behavior of a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You tell them in a kind way. Work really hard not going crazy on people or being demeaning or showing, oh, I have to speak up and go crazy on your emotions. Take a deep breath, and after you did your big gigantic cry, come on, face this. The interesting thing about life, believe it or not, if we want to face something that really is, oh, this is scaring me, but I'm gonna just go and tell her. I'm gonna go tell her that, you know, she was mean. And then suddenly she goes, oh my God, I didn't know I was mean, I'm so sorry. And then you discover that it was just you know, making assumptions. And it is very important that after a good cry, when you start healing from the inside, really healing from the inside, being honest with yourself, being vulnerable, you start really literally picking up the pieces, and that's when you literally start undusting and getting up again. You start undusting and getting up again. That's the only way. You cannot go through a big trauma and they say, I'm fine now, I went to therapy and I'm doing good, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And something happens and then you get triggered and then you relapse into sadness, into whatever. You have to always make sure that you do your healing from the inside out. The second one, which is very important, you silence your mind. How do you silence your mind? Well, many people use meditation. Many people just sit in the silence, looking at the mountains, at the trees, at the sun, at the moon, at a flower, and just allow that noise from the birds calm you down. Our mind can be talking to you and saying all kinds of things that are not even true and that are not even happening. You're just creating all this chaos. That's why when you do the cry, when you do the healing, when you do not live with your hurt, that's when you start able to move on. I can give you a simple example at work. This employee said, we've been having a lot of hard times because when we want to do the orders and deliver them, the UPC don't come out and we have to do it by hand and we have to figure out what this number is. I was overhearing the conversation. The boss said, did you tell anybody in management? Oh no, I didn't. So he was living with his hurt. Every day he'll go to work. He'll be annoyed because the UPC was not scanning. He will do it by hand. And every day he has to do the same. Took him a couple of hours in the morning. He was living with his hurt because all he had to do is speak to someone, to a manager, to anyone. And the minute he said it, they resolved the issue with the software. He thought it was something so complicated. It took 3 minutes to fix. Do not live with your hurt. My neighbor is blah, 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 blah. Maybe one day talk to your neighbor, say, hi, you know what, that tree that comes on the side of my yard is killing this plant that I planted. Is there something we both can do about it? Or, you know, and then, oh, sure, I'll remove it. But for years you were annoying, you hated the neighbor, and you said that you know, she did it on purpose, she's parking there on purpose. One of the things you have to also learn to heal is to not make assumptions about anything. You don't make assumptions about nothing. You don't go like, oh, so-and-so, blah, 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 so-and-so. No. Making assumptions is one of the worst reasons why none of us heal. One of the reasons we all live with our hurt. Making assumptions. She doesn't like me. That secretary, since she started, she doesn't talk to me. She doesn't like me. You made the assumption she doesn't like you. So you live with that hurt. There's a handsome guy talking to you, or a beautiful woman talking to you. And you have this crush. You say, oh, that person will never like me. Why did you make that assumption, right? Why did you make that assumption? Is it something about you don't really like, you never work with yourself? Is there something that you really believe about you that beautiful person will never look at you? Have you ever occurred to you that sometimes you see these beautiful women with this man that are like, and you say, how did he get that woman? Well, he didn't live with his hurt. He lives with his confidence. He lives with knowing that I like that woman and that I'm gonna have her. But also, if you see the social media, you see videos that have gone viral of people who are so humble, but they do something so funny and it goes viral, right? And then they gain confidence through the time. You see them so happy and so confident about themselves because they started releasing that either through laughter, through being themselves. And when you're yourself, you're understanding your mind and your heart that you're not going to live with your hurt. Why this lesson is so important? Because I want to continue on another lesson where we're going to be working on loving yourself. Everybody says in all the TikToks I saw and Instagram and Facebook, love yourself, you're enough, you're more than enough, you're the golden ticket. But you get home and you weigh yourself and you say, oh my gosh, I gained like 20 pounds. Oh my gosh, I had diabetes, I have a high blood pressure, I have blah, 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 blah. How do you love yourself? You can't love yourself if there's so much going on in your life. One of them is like from anxiety, we eat a lot. From depression, we stop eating or we eat a lot or sleep a lot. We stop taking care of ourselves and then suddenly we don't love ourselves. But mainly, the majority of us, we stop loving ourselves when we're very little, when we're little children. Children are like happy and free, but as they get older, we tell them, don't do that. I don't know why you keep jumping like that. Why do you sing like that? You don't even sing nice. Why are you so messy? Why blah, 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 blah. We instead, every time we see them, is to either give them a directive or to reprimand them or to criticize them. And without knowing, life starts to pile into us. And then when we're adolescents, we don't care. Adolescents, it's not that they don't care. It's just that they just go like, I know you are, but what am I? I don't care. So they're so difficult to be able to understand them because they're going through physical changes, mental changes. They're going from childhood to this thing that's changing in their body and in their mind, And then we tell them so many bad things at that age, from the age of 11 all the way to 18. Oof, we did a good job. Not parents, the school, the friends, everywhere around them, believe it or not, told them all kinds of negative things. Told us all kinds of negative things. One friend in high school told me, oh, I don't think you're that smart. I was 15 and I thought, oh my God, she's so smart and she's this and she's that. And I started seeing her and everybody else smarter than me, And she said it only once and I never saw her again. She just came to say this thing and threw it in my subconscious, And then I lived with that little hurt. Someone else comes and says, oh, you can't join the team because you're too chubby. Oh, there's another in the bucket of hurts. Oh, you can't do this, you cannot do that, you can never get that job, you can never get into this university, you can never do anything, So we start adding things into our hurts. And then we don't realize that our bucket of hurts is full. Not only full, it's overflowing. And the bucket of happiness, we forget about it because the bucket of hurt is so strong that we just go to work, come home, cook, clean, or just come home and watch the news or the sports and just go to sleep, get up, go to work, come home, wait for the weekend. Let's see what we're gonna do for the weekend. Did I get invited somewhere? No, I didn't. Okay, maybe I did. Whatever. We live we got into this routine of just living. And the reason when the pandemic happened, what happened to people? They found themselves by themselves with their family. And if they were living alone, they found themselves with themselves. And this bucket got bigger. The bucket of hurt got bigger and loaded with all this hurt, this loneliness, this nothingness. So how do we empty that? One by one. Give it the good cry. Find out what made you get to this point. I'm not saying that all of you are like unhappy campers. I'm sure there's lots of you that are happy. I am very happy. I live a very happy life. It took me a long time to get here, but I am. And I want you to feel that joy. I want you to understand that you have to work it takes work, but it's a fun work when you do it on a daily basis, because literally we only have one day to live, and this is today. We don't have tomorrow or yesterday. They don't exist. What exists is now. So today we're going to take a one for okay, today I'm going to tell that co-worker that I like that he helped me with whatever, and that I didn't like that he usually ignores my emails, and then I have a hard time catching up with that, and that's one hurt. Okay, gone. Today I'm going to tell my boss that he raised his voice in front of all the co-workers, and I got so embarrassed. One hurt. Even if the boss goes, oh, whatever. Even the boss doesn't care. You took it out. I'll tell my boyfriend, when I send you a text and you don't answer, I feel like you ignore me. Is that right? Or what happened, babe? What hurt? Even he goes, oh my God, you're so dramatic. Whatever he says, that's also going to put you in a better place, because you're going to find out why he doesn't answer your text, right? Or why he didn't text you all day or call you, whatever. But everything, every little thing that doesn't feel right, you say it, you fix it, you talk about it, you ask questions, you work with emptying the hurts. You're gonna notice that one day, if you make it a habit of being aware of your emotions, being aware of you, you're gonna notice that, oh, I feel much better, you know? I feel so much better. Because of the political arena that we are living right now, a lot of people have strong hatred emotions for the president or Elon Musk. That's a hurt. It's a hurt, that anger. How do you work with that? Easy. You inform yourself a little bit more. You get information. Am I getting the right information? I'm just going by those TikToks and those Instagrams. Am I getting the right news? Am I reading the wrong news? Or should I not even look at that so I won't be all triggered, you know? Because there's people who are passionate about that thing, and then they go and look at the news and every little thing to check about that, and then by the end of the day, they're like, oh shit, I'm feeling... Why? Why don't you just go and enjoy, take a hike, you know? Understand the process that for years, since the beginning of time, from the beginning of time in Egypt, and all over the world, there's been wars between brothers and sisters. There have been wars between nations, between villages. There's been wars always. And if you get yourself involved into that with this passion, right, there's nothing you can do to make a change. The change begins with you. If you want to make a change, you start being happy. You start working on yourself, on your hurts. And then what happens, the people surrounding you are going to notice that and going to learn from you, and are going to say, you know what, we can do this. Instead of fighting, we can maybe work it out this way. We can work it out that way. We can end these wars this way. But you start gaining power within yourself. Imagine a world with everyone being at peace with themselves and happy. Do you think there'll be wars? Do you think there'll be hunger in the world? I don't think so. Because every single person will go like, oh, let's help this village. Let's go in a group. Let's do this. Let's do that. But we all have this craving of this. I want to be more. I want to do more. I'm not happy. I am happy. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. We're like all in crazy turmoil. But this is an entire humanity. All of us are in here at the same time, at the same moment, at the same precise lifetime, and we can definitely make a difference. We can. They had all the pandemics. The Spaniards had pandemics many years ago. They used to just die from a simple flu, and imagine at that time everybody started healing themselves through their hurts, and to understand that life is delicious, life is beautiful. Life doesn't have to hurt. Life doesn't have to be painful. Life doesn't have to be living in hunger. Your children should not be sick. You have to have the faith that they will be okay, and they're okay. Many people goes by why children suffer. So that's one hurt that we have as a humanity, all of us. Why children suffer? Why so many single moms and single dads? Why so many? Is marriage the answer. But then we thought many years ago, yeah, marriage is the answer. We should stick together. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay here for my children. Then you're like 60 and, oh, I'm divorcing him. He's full of shit. The kids are left the house. And no, life is not painful. We make it, because everything that happens to us, and if you're going to learn anything from here, is that everything that happened to you and to me and to the world, you created, you brought it into yourself, you did it all by yourself. Poverty, hunger, you name it, you did it. And I'm not here to say, oh, that's it, you're screwed. No, I'm just here to give you tools to work with your hurt, to be able to come out of it, to be able to undust and get up and rise again, and maybe rise double. You know, that's why many people love to hear the stories of Bezos and Elon Musk and all the people who have become millionaires. Why? Because they started from the bottom, and all they did is continue doing what they love, and that's it. They had difficult times, but they work with their hurts. They work with their hurts. And you have to work with your hurts. You have to. You cannot just ignore it and say, oh, no, that happened many years ago, so I'm fine. And then something triggers it, and that's what you don't want. That's what you don't want. That's why people that had drug addiction, for example, they relapse. Oh, what was the trigger? But imagine they work on everything that hurt them and everything that got them where they are, and why they can be taking one day at a time and not use that drug again. How does that happen? How is it that there are people that have been sober for years, 10, 15 years? Why? Because they work with their hurts. They did certain programs, they work on themselves. And they understand what you need to understand today, that today is your only day and your best day ever. And every day is just one day, and that's all. There's no more than that. And do that exercise, the exercise of writing down, releasing, being vulnerable, telling someone what happened. If you never told someone anything, say it to someone. See you on the next time.